mean, like, music was crazy. You know, it was, at worst, it was a distraction from the reality of shit in the house, you know, and outside of the house. At best, it was an example of a way that, like, someone has something inside of them that has to come out, right?
Sunshine up above, down here it's 10 below. I'm moving on to a place down where the streets are paved with gold.
I grew up uptown. My family came here in the 60s, right? My father got a job as a super on 106 on the Upper West Side, Columbus. At the park across the street from my house, PS 145, they would have those jams, you know, with the plugging the thing in the DJs and all that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard Aerosmith and all that, right? So like cutting up like Led Zeppelin, cutting up all those like break beats.
How old were you?
6, 7.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
6, 7. With 3 older sisters, and the strange thing about my older sisters, so I had one that was like a rocker, one that was like a B girl, and then another one that was like a disco, because disco is like a disco queen.
Music was on in your house.
So yeah, it was
24/7.
completely on. And then my pops with the stuff from Dominican Republic, we would listen to all kinds of music.
Ain't nothing no more. Ain't nothing no more for you to see.
Growing up, our parties, there was always kids at the parties, right? And there was always a bed covered with the coats. Like that's where everybody would put the coats.
Yeah.
You know, you come in the house, throw your jacket on the bed. You know, there'd be like kids that you don't know, and you get to know them throughout the night, and like, you know, you see your aunts and uncles and everybody, like all the comadres and compadres, like all them dancing and everything. So we had a lot of really good parties up down 106th Street.
There'll be 2 trains running. Oh, baby, running side by side.
My grandmother, she remarried to this cat that was from the Dominican, but she met him here. He was a welder.
True grit.
Yeah, real big dude. Name was Wilson, rest in peace, you know. And Wilson, you know, even though he was from my father's neighborhood, Villa Duarte, in Dominican Republic, he didn't really listen to salsa, merengue, or any of that Latin music. What he loved was blues, rhythm and blues. He loved James Brown. He loved Louis Armstrong. So he would come over and we, you know, everybody would be full blast having these parties and dancing the way they did back in the old country. Wilson would be like the dude that like would switch the thing. You're gonna mark, you know, and he's like, and he put on like, you know, that Cold Sweat record, like the James Brown record with the Cold Sweat, and you like everybody else couldn't help but to get down with it because it was funky, you know.
Lord, Lord, never sat too well with me. Don't believe today, Lord knows it will. Catch up with you soon, then you'll see.
Grew up around 3 older sisters. Sophie, who was the youngest of the 3, it was a lot that she, you know, taught me. Like she took me to Ghost Town, she took me to, you know, the yards. Like I got to see a lot with her. You know, I got to hang out with Rocksteady because of her. You know, I got to meet a lot of like cats that I idolized back then and really looked up to.
Beyond I'll leave this earthly body, when my Lord and Jesus come.
And so we would bench and like watch the pieces go by and see the Donkey Kong car or like see the Pokin' Epic come by or whatever, you know, or we would just walk around Rocksteady and go up to the Rocksteady Park and go up to like the rooftops just to like, you know, look at them. You weren't even catching flicks, you just wanted to see them, right? And the fact that this was happening in Manhattan, you know, in New York, like just right, like in arm's reach. I never really thought about making music. My thing was always art.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You were a graffiti writer.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and I definitely represented Uptown. Like that was my shit.
What year was this about?
This is 85, probably through 92, because I went to an art high school and I went to art school for college. It wasn't necessarily learning about like the old masters or like the Impressionists or the Fauvists or whatever. Like it was, for me, it was more like I had these insane contemporaries that I either knew or did not know that were like creating something that had started a while ago that kept me in school. Years later, when I decided to play the blues, right, it was because I liked rockabilly, I liked soul music, I liked R&B, I mean rhythm and blues and stuff like that. And like every time I kept on pulling off the top layer, like I'd go deep down. I kind of dig this Led Zeppelin song. I keep on peeling back the layers, and I'm like, oh shit! It's like when you find the sample, like the root of the sample.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds like not. Well, fuck it. From my perspective, it sounds so much better than the sample. So I gave everything up because I wanted to play the root of what all the music that inspired me. Essentially, like at heart, I'm a b-boy.
Oh yeah.
You know? And in our culture, when someone has a name and they're doing something and they're not representing it, you take it. So what I found a cat that was from Long Island that was playing the blues, and he was going by this name, right? And he plays guitar real well, and he sings okay too. But from my perspective, it takes much more than spending a summer in Harlem before you could call yourself Harlem Slim, right? Because I met cats that hustle, I've met preachers, I've met sellers of bean pies and newspapers, and I've spent enough time in that neighborhood to know that it deserves a true champion. Truth is plain and simple, and it will surely set you free. There could only be one Harlem Slim, and motherfucker, that's me.
That's what's up. Salute. Cheers. Salute.
Thank you, Bay Ridge. Thank you for having me.